Oh, does it feel good to hear that music again? Hello guys, what is up? I am Liam121 and welcome back. Oh my goodness, welcome back to the Bejeweled podcast, the series that just keeps on going despite 4 months of not talking, and my hand is now pretty much glad he finally could do some work again. I'm Joel, I'm Liam121, and this year I hope to at least finish up some games I still haven't touched in so long.
And I'm Jiozek, and I feel barely awake right now.
Oh boy, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for I say season 2, but really, this is still episode 9, or 7, I can't count, I think. Episode 9 of the Bejeweled podcast. We're back, and considering the fact that we're doing this at the start of 2022, I thought it would be appropriate for us to look back at what has been a pretty good year of gaming in 2021, hasn't it been, Jiozek?
Oh yeah.
Thinking about all the games that came in, thinking about all the stuff that has come in to us. There may be some highlights that we should talk about over the next 2 hours or so, right?
Yeah.
Not much to say.
Well, I don't want to immediately start with rambling.
I mean, you're right. You're true. Anyways, if you are hyped for the return of the Bejeweled podcast, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more content if you're new, follow Jiozek through these particular handles, and ring that bell to notify and download on this channel. If you missed the last Bejeweled podcast, it should be on the card up here right now. Anyways, you might notice 2 changes. 1, brand new layout. That's because I actually just made this out from scratch literally 30 minutes before the podcast started. Oops.
Yeah. It's okay.
And secondly, you might notice that I'm starting back at level 1. That's because I'm actually using the Steam version of Bejeweled 2 instead of the CD version. Because, you know, gaming laptops doesn't have a way I can enter the CD in.
Right.
So,
unless you get an external CD drive or something.
Yeah, so therefore I'm starting from scratch from level 1. Think of it as, well, me actually doing 100% Let's Play of Bejeweled 2 Endless. Starting actually from level 1. Because I think when I did my first episode of the Bejeweled podcast, which was, oh man, I think 18 months ago, Jiozek, I think?
That sounds correct, yeah.
But back then when I started, I think I was at level 50 something, like only just about to finish up the whole round for the first time. So now I can actually properly start from level 1 and make it my way all the way to level 281. And my hand is going to blame me for all of this pain.
Well, it's only 2 hours of pain, so...
That's true. Without further ado, though, let's get this started in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this looks familiar. So, as I put the volume down a little bit further, 2021, how do we do?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about just the general highlights, I mean, it ended up being quite a good year for Nintendo, at least. Like February of last year, Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Skyward Sword HD. Although like the first half of the year felt a little sparse, the latter half, we got some pretty good titles. I say pretty good because I'm a fan of Mario Party and WarioWare, so I was super happy to see a new WarioWare.
I think many people were surprised and happy to see it appear. I mean, WarioWare Gold, not to say it wasn't a good game. It was more just so the idea that we finally got one for the Wii for home console, I should say.
Right, like an actual original WarioWare title.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Gold was good, but it was more so like a greatest hits version. And with the fact that a lot of the micro games that it had came from the GBA games, the GBA and DS games, it made sense to have that game on the 3DS because you always had access to the touchscreen buttons and also gyro sensor. So it made sense to have it on the 3DS instead of the Switch, I feel. But yeah, it's great that now we have actual original WarioWare on a home console.
Definitely feels nice. And it further cements Nintendo's awkward message in saying that touching is good.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, I'm glad to see that it finally came out. I haven't actually played it, but from what I've heard, it definitely is a solid WarioWare game, I should say, that people should try out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I know from you have been doing a 100% playthrough of that game, but unfortunately you had to wait, I think, what was it, 7 months more to 100% it?
Oh yeah, so, for those who don't know, there's a whole mode in WarioWare Get It Together on Switch called the Wario Cup, where where once a week in real time, a new challenge set basically gets distributed to everyone that has the game, and there is a set of achievements in the game that you can only achieve if you have like played all the Wario Cups, as well as like if you've gotten the gold rank on all the cups. But because those are distributed in real time and there's slots for like 50 of them, no one's gonna be able to actually fully 100% the game till like September this year.
Yep. I found that hilarious to know that there was an achievement like that. But then again, that's kind of a smart marketing decision, where it's like, even if you haven't downloaded the game until like, I don't know, nearing like the 1 year anniversary, you still have the chance to at least catch up with others, because you know there's that achievement.
Right. Right.
Although, to be fair, to be honest, I can't wait for the one person to like literally on the last day before the 1 year anniversary cheekily like changes the date just so he gets the last challenge quick before anyone else.
Well, no, not even that works. It's like it gets distributed through the internet. So
wow, okay, that's actually quite funny.
Yeah, so
they were smart.
Yeah, so even if you change like your Switch's date and time to like September of this year, you still won't get the rest of the challenges because they're distributed in real time through the internet. So
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like as though they planned out every single bit of it. Like, that's actually pretty clever, I'll admit. Well played, Nintendo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And even though that's part of 100%ing the game, I'm personally kind of holding off on doing most of the Wario Cups myself until I level up all the characters, because there's a whole side mechanic about that. Yeah, the more that you level up a character, the more points they get you in specific Wario Cups, so it's like, I may as well just continue chipping away at the other achievements, get coins to spend on souvenirs to level up all the characters. So, luckily, the max level any of them can be is 100, and I've found a spreadsheet online of what souvenirs or what gifts will get each character like higher leveled more quickly.
English.
I just woke up 2 hours ago and slammed down some breakfast and a coffee. So
Yeah, coffee.
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Which yeah, before anyone asks, this is water. In this what looks to be a coffee cup, I use it for water.
So Patrick, hi, and I'm not too sure if I can grade the time that you trolled me with your EVs. I'll have to like run through every single time. I now that you say that, I probably should have done like a list. Like, continue with the thing.
But yeah, I think right now I'm trying to work through like again, still talking about WarioWare Get It Together. I've been working my way through the daily grind mode, which it's one of those side modes in a WarioWare game that has nothing to do with like actual WarioWare. It's like a 2D platforming game where you're going around and collecting contracts basically and trying to hold on to them, as many of them as you can, and get to the goal. And there's certain achievements for scoring certain amounts of points in that mode and all that.
Does one include 69?
A what?
Does one include getting 69 and getting to the goal?
No. No. It's a first-party Nintendo game. Why would they do that?
I don't know. Maybe I'm the one getting sleepy, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, isn't it like 10:30 p.m. for you?
Yeah, but it is. Doggone it, Patrick. That's still kind of interesting. Like, now that you told me, I think it's the first time I've heard about this mode, and it sounds wacky. The first thing I think of when you say like collecting contracts and then submitting them is like, oh, you know that decathlon game in Hardcore Soul Silver, where you collect flags from an area, then quickly go back.
Maybe.
It was It was one of the few mini games in the decathlon challenge in Hardcore Soul Silver, where you can send free Pokemon with like some stats to do like the challenges. I remember one of them being like collecting flags around like a beach area.
Okay. I haven't really played much Pokemon, and I'll just leave it at that for right now.
I mean, not everyone has the time to do Pokemon, admittedly, especially with even though there was a certain game that came out this year. Nice transition to BDSP.
Yeah.
I think on my part, I'll be honest. I think a lot of people were very scared that Gen 4 remakes were never going to be a thing, like after so long of waiting. But looks like Nintendo finally have answered our wishes, and we finally got it. Admittedly, it was quite interesting on my part that it was made by a different company. But as I will agree with some of the critics out there, Ilka kinda dropped the ball on certain things that they didn't really understand instead of making a Pokemon game. And it's almost like, I wouldn't say a slap on the face, but it's more like Game Freak themselves showing like, hey, you need us.
Right.
That's just my point of view, though. I wouldn't say it's like exactly the ultimate kick in the teeth about the fact that the game wasn't all that like perfect. But at the very least, and I'll be perfectly honest, probably the best remake out of the four. If not closely fought with Heart Gold Soul Silver. It's, for me, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is very true to the originals. It fixes a lot of problems that the original had that we know we shouldn't have in the first place. Because remember, when Diamond and Pearl came out, it was rushed. There were certain things that they wanted to do that they could not, and it caused like the game to like be quite slow. Even though you haven't even played the game, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean, right, Jalzak?
Yeah, didn't like whenever Pokemon took damage, didn't the health bar like tick down like as slow as molasses?
Yeah,
Or am I
exactly.
thinking of it? Okay, then yeah.
I still remember that video. I keep seeing like only the preview of it, for those wondering, of like the comparison between the timing between BDSP and DP, and I believe if my estimation is correct, the speed in BDSP is like 2,586 times faster than in DP,
Wow.
which is insane to think about. But hey, that's just the
Mhm.
future, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
go ahead.
I was about to say I haven't played either of them myself, so it's like yeah, it's more so just letting you talk about them. So that's why I'm just kind of sitting back.
I mean, same thing will happen with WarioWare Get It Together. I didn't get the game, so you had the spotlight.
Right.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
Continuing back to what I said, there are a few things that they definitely should change. Underground, honestly, it had probably the best improvement I've seen in a Pokemon game, like Pokemon Remake. Spears were a lot easier to track because they now come in just two sizes, so big or small. And the coves that allow you to get like different Pokemon from like other like games, so they usually don't get in Diamond and Pearl without trading, really made it a very fun game to like try and hunt like Pokemon for, and honestly expanded out like the possibilities of what you can try out to some teams. Also, at least they're not as few fire types as last time. For those wondering, Diamond and Pearl had the very infamous problem of having only 4 fire types to choose from. So the fact that you're able to catch not only different fire types, but even the starter fire types once you have the National Dex early, because that is a thing you can do in Brilliant Diamond Shadow Pearl. Possibilities are endless in terms of what you can do in terms of teams in BDSP, and I really love that. I guess honestly, like what we discussed earlier, movement speed, game speed was a lot more improved. I think everyone was hoping that was a thing. Admittedly, there are certain things that were funny, especially with what happened with the cloning glitch that happened before they finally released an update. I don't know why they took forever to do it, but and then Snowpoint City's gym being broken because of 8 directional inputs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, did they just like take the original gym layout more or less?
Yeah, but here's the problem. Because you're able to do 8 directional input, you're actually able to move diagonally on some of the slopes, and it is possible to skip the entire snowball puzzle just by moving diagonally at certain points.
Oh.
Now, here's the thing. I tried it before. I tried to do it. I was not successful, but I've seen people do it, and I honestly laugh at the fact that that's a thing. It's just like, Ilka, how can you get that wrong?
Yeah.
But then again, it's their first Pokemon game, so can we really blame them fully?
I mean...
I'll leave the critics to the side.
Yeah.
Not for me to judge.
Yeah.
All in all, though, if there's one thing I'll admit I had a vibe of when I played BDSP, it kind of had the vibe of a Drayano hack. And by that I mean, it felt as though the game was slightly harder in certain parts, especially if you're going through Cynthia, whether it be all 3 fights, and the Elite Four rematches. As I heard, Cynthia's Pokemon actually are 3 IV and holding an item. And that was not like that back in the original Diamond and Pearl. And when I heard that, I was like, Drayano, do you have some influence in this? But honestly, I really love that it kind of felt like it. It's almost like a homage to the guy who really made the difficulty of Pokemon a thing, if you know what I mean.
Are you talking about, like, the person who started the Nuzlocke runs, or
No.
are you talking about something completely different that I have no idea about?
Drayano is a master Pokemon ROM hacker who actually like remakes Pokemon games
Gotcha.
with high difficulty. So not only does he make it harder to levels, but also movesets, he also actually makes all Pokemon accessible. It's almost like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, where all Pokemon are accessible. Difficulty has a slight spike, but it's still playable. I wouldn't say it like little moves by any means, but at least it feels a little bit more difficult. I really like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's why I really love BDSP. Admittedly, I am currently suffering through waiting for Swarms to be my favor, because I literally have 6 Swarm Pokemon left to catch before I get the National Dex.
Nice.
But honestly, besides that, and besides just some other wonky stuff, very happy with BDSP. And I honestly, this probably is a good turning point in terms of remakes. Like, not many people were that happy with RS. 7.8 out of 10, too much water.
Yeah.
But honestly, BDSP, you did well. I really applaud Game Freak Elka for doing the job that they did.
Nice.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. And with Pokemon Legends Arceus coming up, I don't really plan to buy it. Although I do plan to see gameplay with others. If it does tickle my fancy, I might pick it up. Might is a very strong word, I'll be honest, though.
Yeah, like, I've actually been pretty decently interested in Legends Arceus because it seems like enough of a formula shakeup to the Pokemon games that it's... I feel like I'd be more willing to give it a try.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah. Like, basically Pokemon, but, like, Breath of the Wild elements. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean... Okay, not to sidetrack real quick. What is if the games recently having an ancient theme? Sonic Frontiers, Kirby the Lost City, Splatoon 3. They all kind of had the same vibe, and it made me felt very weird.
Huh. That is kind of interesting, yeah.
Oh, you didn't notice it?
I guess, like, yeah, not really till you pointed it out.
But yeah, it felt quite creepy, right? Everything is almost like the same theme.
Mm-hmm. Huh, yeah. But, yeah, that's... I guess that sort of then, like, leads into the... I don't know how much we want to talk about it, but just, like, this year, how hopefully Breath of the Wild 2 comes out.
Oh yeah, that one. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm already a big fan of Legend of Zelda, admittedly, and Breath of the Wild seemed like a very big game. Thanks, Steven.
Yeah.
But definitely I've seen gameplay, psycho gameplay of it through one of my good friends, Josh, and honestly, it still looks beautiful no matter how you look at it and how you play it.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping Breath of the Wild 2 at least has a bit more direction, because honestly, as much as the open world concept is good, I kind of sort of like Link to the Past because it wasn't too open world. At least there is like direction.
That's fair. Once I played through Breath of the Wild along with okay, well, all the main series Zelda titles that are on Switch, Breath of the Wild, Link's Awakening, and Skyward Sword. Once I played through all 3 of those, I thought about it, and it's like, out of these 3, I prefer Breath of the Wild. But I still very much so enjoy the more, like, classic style of Zelda. It's just, I did find more enjoyment with the Breath of the Wild formula. So that's why I'm particularly excited about the sequel. Hopefully it comes out this year. If not, that's fine, but I'm just excited for it to come out someday.
I mean, we should see what they do with this. I mean, where could it go with the story?
Yeah, they said that, like, it's somehow connected to Skyward Sword, hence why they brought Skyward Sword to the Switch.
Characters
But
coming back?
that's... A what?
Characters coming back, possibly?
Maybe.
I mean, who could they bring back, though, in ancient form?
Yeah, I honestly have no
dear.
idea.
Who's the cheeky guy that keeps ruining Link?
Oh. Wait, which character?
It's the big guy
Big guy.
in Skyward Sword.
Are you talking about Groose?
Yes! Imagine him in ancient form. That would be weird.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That would just be awkward, but also kind of interesting to see like his form.
Mm-hmm.
I am Macho Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, now that you mentioned Skyward Sword being being somewhat close to Breath of the Wild 2, I'm kind of curious to see how they will implement it.
Yeah. In the gameplay footage that they've shown us, there's, it looks like, the Breath of the Wild sequel is gonna have at least some of the gameplay environment be, like, up in the air. Which, you know, flying around in the air was a big thing in Skyward Sword. So... But again, that's basically as much as they've said and shown us about the Breath of the Wild sequel. So...
The Nintendo continue to be secretive, as always.
Yeah. Yeah, although, I mean, they were kind of like that for the original Breath of the Wild, although they did show some footage, I know, in trailers. So I might just try to avoid as many trailers of the sequel as I can. Just, going with a little bit of a, well, yeah, just to go in blind.
Yeah, I think that the Switch release trailer is going to be 5 years old soon.
Yeah,
5
that's...
years ago, like, put it into perspective, everyone watching. 5 years ago, we were all freaking out over the new console called the Switch.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads me
Yeah.
nicely to the next thing I want to talk about. That is the death of the Wii U in 2021.
Oh, yeah.
it really felt like 2021 was the ultimate year of saying bye-bye to the Wii U, and honestly. With so many games getting ports to the Switch. I mean, we can name off one tip of our tongue. Sonic Colors Ultimate. I know it's a Wii game, but still.
Yeah.
Super Mario 3D World, like what you said. What else can you think of? New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
That was 2019, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, not thinking about what else?
I guess N64 games.
Oh, actually, yeah. I probably
That's a whole nother discussion.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, I will say that for later. Hang on.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else then? Shin Megami Tensei, I guess. Bayonetta 2?
Yeah. The first two Bayonetta games have been on Switch for a few years at this point, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Actually, now that I say that, now that I think about it a bit further, I guess maybe it's more so like 2021 becoming the year that all consoles really become into one in Switch, basically.
Yeah.
Because it not only was just Wii U games, not thinking about it, it was so many ports that came out all of a sudden.
Right.
Like, like what we said, Shin Megami Tensei, Shadow Calls Ultimate, the Nintendo Switch Online expansion, of course, allowing Sega Genesis and N64 games to be played now. Like,
Yeah.
that is just incredible. And for me, I freaked out quite heavily when I saw it. Because I was so happy to finally be able to play a console that I never got to touch. Never got to touch.
Sorry, I don't feel like there's gonna be a better time for me to do this, really. With me slamming down that coffee and drinking most of this, I have to go use the bathroom. Like, really badly. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Meanwhile, as he does that, I'll just ramble on a bit. But yeah, I guess for me, right, when I just think about 2021, it definitely is the year I'm just saying, yeah, this is where the Switch really has become a console of many consoles. The fact that they've added not only Nintendo 64 games, but Sega Genesis games into the Switch, I mean, come on, that's crazy. And honestly, with them doing Genesis, it kind of makes me give me a bit of hope that Dreamcast could be next in 2022 or 2023 in due time. Now I know that Banjo-Kazooie is coming out on the NSO this month, and I'm actually quite psyched for that, because for myself, it was one of those games which I've seen a lot of. I really want to try out myself, but I never got to try. But once again, never touched a N64 in my life. But I'm just glad to know that this year has really been a year of finally Nintendo's knowing that we, younger generation, never got to touch the consoles of old, and now we are able to touch it indirectly. I know I keep saying touch, I might have to stop that. But yeah, it's just a year of just like being thankful for what Nintendo has done for us. Even though, admittedly, yeah, and NSO prices were kind of bonkers at the time, I feel like it will be soon very worth once new games come out, new stuff gets added, and all that stuff. Anyway, also, it just feels good to be finally swiping gems again after so long. But just wondering, I bought Bejeweled 2 just to test out something, because I thought with the new laptop I was able to do some stuff, inclusive of getting like a better like screen, because what you're seeing right now is kind of like the old school form of Bejeweled 2. Unfortunately, because it's a laptop, apparently hardware acceleration is not on or cannot be on, which I kind of find a bummer of, but what am I gonna do? But yeah, that's why at this point in time I only have Bejeweled 2 installed. I don't plan to get Bejeweled 3 nor Twist yet until I swap to a gaming computer. That'll be when I'll probably will say, yeah, I think it's finally time I download Bejeweled 3 and actually swap over to playing that game. And I'll admit, Bejeweled 3, really love that game. I hope to showcase that during Flash Fridays, which, by the way, if you're new to this channel, I do have a new series called Flash Fridays, which just launched yesterday. First episode on the card up here. I remember the timestamp with a high. But Flash Fridays is basically a series that allows me to look back at games that were fueled by the Flash player before, of course, it was taken away in last year in December. Man, I think it's been already a year since then. But yeah, Flash Fridays currently right now. Do stay tuned for more episodes.
I've returned.
Yeah, I heard you. That's why. Quickly end my Flash Fridays promo.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, any surprises on the first game that I released?
I mean, I didn't I never heard of the game. I forget the name of it, but I know it was like you do the burgers.
Burger shop.
Yeah. I never heard about it, but it looked cool.
But yeah, I'll just say this right now. Get ready for my sanity to break in due time in those episodes.
Oh.
It gets very difficult. It's stressful in due time.
Oh,
Anyways, back to our discussion on and Nintendo Switch becoming a one console, mini consoles.
yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
But yeah, oh boy, Final Fantasy remakes, also another thing to talk about.
Oh, what?
I mean, most of the idea of the A is also another way for them to port stuff to the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah. I just remembered a couple other games, like games that people have wanted on the Switch for forever that were brought to the Switch. If you remember around the time that Sora, I mean, I'm sorry if you were about to like start talking about Final Fantasy.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and how like they were just cloud versions, so you have to be connected to the internet on a console that you take with you on the go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awkward decision, but hey, at least we have remakes, right?
I mean, yeah, but still not great. But a series that was ported to the Switch correctly, Danganronpa.
Oh yeah. I know you have been having fun with that, and also freaking out over certain titles, chapters.
Yeah, so I've only played through the first game at this point. I'm planning on getting the second game soon. It is a wild ride. I can't say much more about that without spoiling things.
I know Lugajin did a let's play of like some of the Danganronpa games, and just seeing her freak out and like break down is pretty hilarious.
Played through all of them. Yeah.
And just seeing her break down at times is just hilarious, even though I don't really know the context.
Yeah, it's if you don't plan on playing through the games, I would say like giving her playthroughs of the games like another watch through, like do it.
Do it. You won't regret it.
Right. I like the first couple chapters I played through with both the action and logic difficulty set to kind, but I heard that the hardest difficulty of mean wasn't terribly more difficult, so I ended up switching both difficulties to mean a couple chapters in, and yeah, it wasn't incredibly difficult even then, but I think with just about every class trial, I ended up losing all of my hearts at least once.
Oh dear.
On every single class trial. Yeah, but granted, you don't restart from the beginning of the trial. It just comes up with a text box saying like, do you want to give up? And you can just hit no, and it refills you back up with 5 hearts, and you just keep going. So, I think it more so just affects your final ranking for the trial. So,
At least I kind on that.
yeah, fittingly, because that's the name of the middle difficulty. It's kind.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's like gentle, kind, and mean. Although I think they had like different but similar sounding names for the difficulties in the original English PSP version. But the only one that I remember is the mean equivalent difficulty was malicious.
Oh dear.
Yeah. But it was still the same difficulty, just a different name for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that the scene that the Danganronpa. I myself was actually shocked to see that, but at the same time I was like, Yeah, about time. The series has been beloved by many, and I'm actually quite happy to see it.
Mm-hmm. Now, when are they gonna bring Zero Escape to the Switch?
Oh, dude. Funny story about when you say that. I actually found Zero Escape, Virtuous Last Reward, as a 3DS game, from one of my game stores, but never bought it. And honestly, I kind of regret it at times when I don't buy it.
Yeah.
But then again, I think there's a PC version, I think, available.
Yeah, all 3 games are available on Steam.
Oh, actually, I might buy one of them, honestly, because I'll be honest, seeing Tim play it, I kind of want to try it.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched a bit of his playthrough back when he was, like, still doing it. Wasn't that, like, several years ago, I want to say?
2018, if I remember correctly.
That sounds about right, yeah. But yeah, the first 2 games are on Steam in, like, a dual pack. I think it's just called the Nonary Games is the name of the pack.
Yeah, I believe so.
And Zero Time Dilemma is available separately by itself. But, yeah, I actually have, just pulled this out, it's the original DS, version of 999.
Nice.
Yeah, I found it, I have the box for it, but it's in storage. I just keep all of my, DS carts just in my case. But yeah, I found it in a local game store for, like, yeah, you know, pretty good price, so it's like, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I've yet to fully play through it, but I want to get back to it at some point. It's a good game.
And quite stressful at times, right? I think, like, some of the puzzles and stuff.
Yeah, although I don't think there's a time limit with, like, any of the puzzles.
Oh, wait, there is?
Excuse me. No. Even though the very first escape room you get thrown into, even though it's, like, flooding with water, even if it takes you 5 hours, you're not gonna lose.
Wow. So, what you're saying is that the water coming out is just from a leaky faucet.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be interesting to see if those games actually come out from on Switch soon. I mean, they've done Danganronpa, why not that? Speaking of games that coming out for Switch, by the way, hang on, what do you say?
I think the biggest difficulty that the developers would run into if they were to port it to Switch, the Zero Escape series as a whole, is that with the first game being on the DS and with these remade versions being on Steam, they very heavily, well, the DS versions, DS and 3DS versions, I should say, relied heavily on the touchscreen. And the Steam versions, you know, you use the mouse to interact with things. It's basically a point-and-click adventure game. They would somehow have to translate that into just button controls.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, although, like, they could just, you know, have a cursor on screen that's controlled by, like, moving the stick around, and then you interact by hitting A. That's... like, they can do it like that, and it would totally work. But if you're playing in handheld, you could still, like, poke at the touchscreen to do things.
Poke. Yeah, that's true.
So, it's totally doable. It's just they would have to
pull some strings
implement
in order to do
that.
it, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, still totally doable.
Yeah, I can see that happening. So, to what I was about to say, speaking of games that are gonna be ported to the Switch,
What?
Banjo-Kazooie!
Oh!
This month,
Yeah.
I actually mentioned it earlier just now when you were going to the toilet. Oh my goodness, Banjo-Kazooie will be available this month.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
It'll be my first time playing Banjo-Kazooie.
Same. Now, if only I could finally finish up my Shantae game I was still playing.
Yeah, I have a backlog myself that I need to work through at some point. It's not as bad as other people's, but still. But some of those games in that backlog is the BioShock trilogy, because I got the trilogy for like $20 on sale on the Switch.
Nice.
So they've just been sitting on my system.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah. This is the first re-release on a Nintendo system that for Banjo-Kazooie, because it was never brought to the Wii or Wii U Virtual Console. Excuse me. So yeah, it's the first time that this is being re-released on a Nintendo system. It was re-released, I think, on the Xbox 360 through Xbox Live Arcade, and they made a couple modifications to how some of the aspects of the game functioned. Like, I think they made it to where if you collected, some jiggies and died, you would still have those jiggies collected. Whereas the original N64 version, those would get reset and you would have to recollect them again, I'm pretty sure.
So basically, like how SM64 did it with coins.
Yeah. And so, because I'm pretty sure, this is the original N64 version, we're probably going to have to deal with that, with, if you die, all your collected jiggies get reset, unless they fix that with Lua scripts, like they've been making modifications to other games with Lua scripts.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Lua scripts are basically Game Shark codes on crack. More or less.
Yeah, I can't disagree on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's more or less what they are.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I would actually know about Lua scripts is like when I do a multi-world of Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's really true.
Yeah. But yeah, how much did you talk about like the N64 games as a whole on the service when I was away?
I mean, not really much. I just mostly say again, I just freaked out with the fact that it was available. I'll be honest, for those who were wondering, and again, I did mention it during my Nintendo Direct like trailer, like when I was watching the reaction. I remembered I said that I did not even actually have a look at the I did not actually look at any like leaks or anything like that before I watched the trailer, so I had zero clue about the leak about possible N64 games. But so when I saw it, I was like genuinely surprised.
Nice.
So to think that we are in an era that this exists, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although I do kind of wish that they would show like the Game Boy games some love and add those to the base Switch Online plan, because I like with how old and kind of primitive a lot of those games are, I think they could just add them to base Switch Online. Although they could do it like this, where Game Boy and Game Boy Color are added to the base pack, but Game Boy Advance is added to the expansion pack. I don't know, something to bring those games to Switch.
I wouldn't disagree on that plan. There are a few questions I would raise, but that's kind of an interesting idea on how they could do it if they were to support Game Boy games. One thing I have a question to them, however, is that does that mean that we're finally getting the Pokemon games on Switch?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they did bring basically all of the Game Boy and Game Boy Color Pokemon games to 3DS Virtual Console.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah. And, excuse me, they did modify those Virtual Console releases a little bit in the sense that you could not use save states. So, like, they would probably do the same with those. Although, all the games, like, as a whole, for a given, like, Retro Console, Nintendo Switch Online pack, they do get backed up to the cloud. So I don't know how Nintendo would feel about, you know, cloud saves with a Pokemon game, because, like, oh, you could trade a Pokemon and, like, close out of the game and not have it, back up your save to the, cloud, but then, like, download your most recent, cloud backup, so then that Pokemon you traded is back in your, game, but the friend that you traded that Pokemon to, they still have it. So it's like...
So basically like the cloning glitch I was talking about with BDSP.
Yeah, so I don't know how they would go about that if they're really that anal about it.
I mean, we will see. I mean, then again, me saying about Pokemon games being ported to Switch is kind of a stretch, admittedly, because like what you say, like with trades, I don't really see them like possibly like allowing you to trade online through like those kind of games if they were to port Pokemon games to the Switch.
Right.
It would be kind of difficult if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would have to like do a different kind of multiplayer gaming just so they're able to allow people to trade. And that would just like require a lot of effort, I would say. But that may be just me.
Yeah, although, again, with the 3DS Virtual Console releases, they did add in local wireless trading. So you could still, like, trade and battle with someone else locally who has the Virtual Console release, but, nothing online. So they could implement that in the Switch Online releases of those games.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that actually would work.
Yeah.
Maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, but who knows what they will do. Again, Nintendo being secret.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they just release the games as their completely own, like, separate software. So then they can just be like, yeah, this software doesn't support cloud saves.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that, honestly.
Yeah. Even though I feel like Pokemon is a game that you would want cloud saves for. But granted, isn't there, like, some subscription service that you can get where you can upload, Pokemon to the cloud, so then you can preserve them?
Yeah, I believe that's going to be available to 3DSP in a few months' time, I believe.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and for those who don't know what we're talking about, Pokemon Home.
I thought it was compatible, but I guess maybe not at this point.
Not yet. I have a few friends, like, I mean, I'll be honest, I've been pushing to try and get the decks finished without like true trading with others in case they were able to get their swarms. Some people actually have resorted to just waiting for Home to be available.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna try persist.
Yeah.
But that might be just me. I'll admit, I'm kind of sad that Home will be available to BDSP because it's just like people will be able to get the decks kind of ingenuinely.
Yeah.
It's almost like me being a meal who wanting street passes in 2022.
Yeah,
In fact, he actually got a street pass in MacFest, which I was just like,
I saw
man,
I saw
Emil.
that. Yeah.
Man, Emil,
Yeah.
you are persistent, and I love it.
I mean, I've pulled my 3DS out again. Right here. Yeah, I was playing through the Bowser's Inside Story remake a little bit again. And I have been taking my 3DS out with me a little bit more again. In like the vain hope that it'll get us a street pass. Because like I carried my 3DS with me basically everywhere back in the heyday of the system. And like to the point where, say for like a dozen puzzle pieces, I have completed Puzzle Swap. But the puzzle pieces I'm missing are the ones you can only get by street passing people, not by using play coins.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so yeah.
Add that to the list of struggles 2020 kids will never understand.
Yep. Yeah. It's... I miss Street Pass, just generally. It's... Well, yeah. It's one of the most underrated features on any Nintendo system, I would say.
Is Street Pass turning 10 next year? Or this year?
It turned 10 last year.
Oh,
Because the system came out early 2011. February in Japan and March everywhere else, basically.
How old have we become?
Yeah. When the system came out, I was in 5th grade.
When the system came out, I was in 7th grade, technically.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any easier every year, does it?
No. And, like, I just wish someone would start making 3DS capture units again. Because both of the main sources of those just shut down.
Yeah, I'm also kind of bummed myself that I won't be able to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And those who remember, I started LP in 2019.
Even though I'm looking into 3DS emulation, but
I mean, to be fair, I have it. So I could access it readily, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess for people who don't know, the main source of 3DS capture units here in the States, he just like stopped making them, and he was only making them for the original 3DS. And the source, like the company that was making them in Japan, like they were doing it for a couple years, but there was a law put in place in Japan that made the sale of modified consoles illegal. So they had to shut down.
Ouch.
Yeah, so there's been like no source of like good modified 3DSs for capture. Although I want to say that there's someone else that's looking into potentially doing them. And I think the original guy here in the States last year did like a very small run of like the regular new 3DS. So I think he might be looking into making them for like the new branded systems, which if that's the case, I have a new 2DS XL that I can send to him.
I have a new 3DS XL that I could send to him too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind, even though I'm overseas. Remember, well, for those wondering, as a Singaporean, like I don't have any access to that. The only way I could possibly get it is through Amazon, and I don't even have an account on Amazon Prime in the first place. So that's why, like, even for myself, it's super difficult to even try to even get a capture card for any of my consoles. Which is why most of my gaming and Let's Playing is mostly on my PC with emulators and other stuff. So it's difficult, but I'm hoping I'll get the opportunity to do that in due time.
Yeah. Yeah. I literally had this discussion about 3DS capture units in a completely like different Discord call last night.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it mostly just like the idea like we wish they will come back again?
Yeah. 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 It's
not much to
more
say
or
other
less.
than that.
Yeah. We just went on like a whole like side tangent, but I mean that's I guess to be expected with something like this.
Welcome to Bejeweled Podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I mean it's still interesting. I mean, back to where we were talking earlier. At least we're seeing 2021 be a humongous step towards like bringing consoles into one, and I feel like if 2021 wasn't the year that that did it fully, 2022 might be the year that cements it.
Yes.
Especially with N64 finally being part of the library, and possibly even more games coming in hot for Switch. I also can't wait to see what's ahead of us.
Yeah. So, like, if you look at the release schedule for the retro consoles on Switch Online, NES was added 2018, Super Nintendo 2019. It did nothing for 2020. But then 2021 was Genesis and N64. And all those releases were like September, October time. So it's pretty safe to say that we'll be getting some more consoles this year as well.
Wasn't there like a leak about like GameCube like data being inside the Switch?
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
I think there was a part of me if I talking blabberous right now because I don't remember. I think I remember something like that, but I might be completely incorrect. But still, how much would the bet that they actually did 2 consoles in one because they want to make up for 2020?
That's actually kind of a good point.
Speculations,
Yeah.
but who am I to say too much about it? I don't really look up as much on news, which is why I said that when N64 Online was revealed on the trailer, I got the shock of my life. But yeah, I have to just like keep it to like only myself and then surprise myself once it comes, because sometimes the surprise is the best thing to do on the day itself when they reveal it.
Yeah. Yeah. With the backlash that there's been about the N64 games, though, and how there's been quirks about their emulation on Switch, I wonder how GameCube would run.
Oh dear. I mean, hopefully it might be a bit better. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Voice
we would have to
crack?
see. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully. I'll be honest. Me playing N64, me playing Mario Kart 64, as I was talking with Giles like one day, I remember telling him that this honestly was like a cool experience. I like being able to play games that, well, you guys were more familiar with. Like, remember, for me, when I was born, the N64 was a year old. And I remembered I never got an opportunity to play that, nor the GameCube, nor the Wii to be extent, nor the Wii U until I went to a game like Arcade, where they actually had consoles of many types available to us. So that's why for me, I get like, well, ridden of like certain things like that. I actually
Okay.
remembered in the Mario Party Superstars board that I did with Churibro. I'll probably put the link in the description for those wondering. I remember saying that I actually was deprived of Mario Party until Mario Party Superstars.
Really?
Because I never had an N64, nor a GameCube, nor a Wii of my own because that was my brother's, nor a Wii U. So that's...
No,
and no 3DS.
yeah.
And by the time I got my 3DS in 2017, I think, oh boy, Island Tour was 6 years old?
Yeah,
I
when
believe-
did that come out?
think
It was a couple years into the 3DS's life. I want to say it was around the time of the 2DS's release, because I'm pretty sure there was a commercial for Island Tour that I think it showed like some kids like, or one of the kids at least, like playing a 2DS. So probably 2013. That sounds about right. When
Matt,
in doubt,
I mean,
Wikipedia.
yeah, you beat me to it.
Party Island Tour. Yep. No, November 22nd, 2013. And
Also just saying, and I
Yep.
you know what, time step up here, Joel. If you haven't seen the Mario Party board I did with Cerebro, it is hilarious what happened that day.
oh,
Let's just say madness and a very incredible chance time.
oh boy.
That's all I'm gonna say.
But yeah, there was also Star Rush. Excuse me, that was basically released 3 years later. November 4th, 2016. We do not talk about Mario Party the Top 100.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I got my 3DS, I wasn't really interested in those Mario Party games because they kind of looked awkward and not really Mario Party-esque.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I never had any of the previous consoles, so I never got a chance to play Mario Party with anyone. Never got a chance to play Mario Party, let alone with friends.
Yeah.
So, will I say I lived a sad life? Well, considering the fact that there's something called Mario Party Rage, I'm not too sure if I would say missing the life.
Right.
The silly thing was, I remember there was one point where someone got very salty during Mario Party. I remember just saying out loud, "Oh, this is feels so good seeing Mario Party salt."
Yeah.
For the first time, I get to see it.
So the first Mario Party game that I have, this actually isn't this exact copy of the game, but it's still the first game in the series that I had, Mario Party DS. I know it's not gonna focus because I don't have autofocus on, but I did have someone that I was playing with straight up rage quit at one point.
Oh dear.
So I was playing multiplayer with someone, not gonna say who it was, because they very well may actually be watching, potentially.
Call out.
Yeah, so we were playing like the first board in the game, and I think Peach, one of the CPUs, was like in the lead. She had just gotten a star, and the next star space wasn't that far away from her, and I think she had rolled enough to where she was about to get that, and the person that I was playing with just like, I think they were annoyed at like something else that happened earlier in the game, but I guess they just got so annoyed that Peach was gonna get 2 stars in one turn that they like shut off their DS, slammed the lid closed, and just walked away. And I'm like, what?
Did the game
Okay.
stop? Did the game stop just then?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it never resumed because she never came back?
Yeah, because they did that.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when Mario Party 1 scars people.
Yep.
And not only just because of burning of hands.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Mario Party Superstars, that technically could be another way of saying they ported the games from other consoles into the Switch.
I mean, yeah. It's...
Please DLC, please DLC.
What was that?
Please DLC.
Yes.
I think that'll make everyone happy.
Yeah. I honestly am, like, hoping that they bring back at least a few of the boards from DS and some of the mini-games from DS, because this is basically, like, the N64 and GameCube Mario Parties, but on the DS. So, why not bring some of this game's content to Superstars? Granted, with the overall theme of the game, it probably wouldn't make sense, but who cares? It's Mario Party. For those who don't know, the whole theme of Mario Party DS is that all the main characters are shrunken down, and so they're like they're basically the size of Pikmin. And that plays into a lot of the themes of the minigames and stuff. Like, I know there's one minigame where you're outrunning a vacuum. And like surfing down the hand railing for like a big set of steps, and you're trying to like get as much momentum as you can before you like jump off the ramp, because the more momentum you pick up, the farther you'll go. So you're trying to land as far as possible. And you do that by like repeatedly swiping on the touchscreen to gain more speed or momentum, whatever. I have to go use the bathroom again.
Again? Go ahead.
This is what happens when I just keep drinking fluids.
I mean, that's what happens. Oh dear. But I guess while he goes again for his bathroom break, I might as well do a bit of a debrief. Well, full week of 2022 is done. I'm kind of surprised I was able to stream twice this week, because mainly it was quite busy on my part. I'll be honest, next week I don't see myself being able to stream even like once, because I have kind of a busy stuff to come happening, inclusive of like having to make more PowerPoint slides and PowerPoint presentations for teaching mathematics. So expect kind of an empty week unless my next Tetris match comes up next week. I will put in the description right now, right now, not really, later, of the Tetris match I had with T-Storm 281. It was an incredible, great match. And went out to the wire, I'll be honest. You can have a look at it. I will, by the way, be posting highlights / reviews of my CTM experience, performance. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy. I obviously want to try to do like analysis videos of my gameplay, just because like I always been interested to see like how I would perform and how, looking back, what I could improve on. And knowing I have a good coach in Ian Capalot, I know that he could also like help me out a bit in like being a better Tetris player. Even though, as I said many times, I really not really want to compete as much, but I really want to get better, so that if one day I do want to compete a little bit better, more, I could easily fit well into the scene. Besides, someone who is technically best in Singapore and second best in Southeast Asia, I better be able to uphold that role / position, right? But yeah, But yeah, as a TLDR, I expect kind of an empty week this week because I'm quite busy. We'll probably be quite busy with stuff. I have some stuff I need to attend to, and yeah. Although there's one thing I want to plan to do next week, 100%, is to finish up that first Earthbound randomizer seed that I started out already. So do expect the ending of that to be this Wednesday.
I'm back.
Wait, what?
I'm back.
Welcome. Hi back, I'm Dat.
Yeah.
It's funny because I said about Earthbound.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, mostly it was just a debrief on what's gonna happen this week.
Gotcha.
Also,
I guess...
also woohoo! I'm actually 110 through the game, through endless mode now.
Nice. I guess, were we still talking about Mario Party, or did we want to go to a different topic?
I mean, I mostly just want to say that I want DLC hopefully this year. But yeah.
Yeah.
But any other games that came out this year? Well, I know, Bug Fables.
Well, that didn't come out in 2021. That on the Switch, at least. It came out in 2020.
Oh?
I played it in 2021.
Oh.
Yeah, but still, it's a good game. People should play it.
I mostly said that just to make fun of you because of how many times you kept mentioning it.
I mean, if you get around to playing it at some point, you'll see why I and basically everyone else that's played it loves it. It's basically but Paper Mario, but more refined. And better. And I can say that for certain because I've been playing through Paper Mario on the N64 pack on Switch Online.
I mean, I haven't touched it yet, but I hope to get to that in due time.
I mean, it's still a good game. It's just like it's like, yeah, they're both good, but out of the two, if I had to play one of the two, it would be Bug Fables.
Yeah.
I
mean, hopefully, maybe in due time, I go get around to playing that game, I'll quite enjoy it. Especially with how you've been describing it quite positively.
Yeah. I think it originally came out on Steam in later 2019, and then I think on consoles in early 2020. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Sounds about right, honestly. Anyways, now I actually looked up a list. Sorry, I had to cheat. Because there were so many games that released in 2021. I forgot. New Pokemon also came out.
Oh, new Pokemon Snap, yeah. Another game that I wanted to play but just never bought it.
I've heard good stuff about it. And I heard that it's here's some funny things that happen in terms of putting photos, which, I mean, it is a photo game, so I'm not surprised to hear that, but it's quite nice to hear quirky stuff happening like that.
Right. I've heard just great things about the original Pokemon Snap. At some point, yeah, of course I want to play through new Pokemon Snap. Although, isn't the original coming to N64 Switch Online? I'm pretty sure it is.
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't remember that. I don't remember that from the list, but if it is, then yay.
I seem to remember it in the announcement trailer. Yeah.
I mean, we could look it up now. Why not, right?
Yeah. Did you want to do it, or
I'll do it while you discuss about it.
Okay. Yeah, it's this was pointed out by Chugga Conroy, that given the context of the game, it makes sense that like it's hard to have a computer grade photography, but given the context that the game is about taking pictures for a biology report, you would want the subject to take up as much of the frame as possible. So that's not necessarily something you want to do with actual photography. It's coming from someone that took a photography class in college. It's not necessarily what you want to do for like a good just photo, but for a biology report, totally makes sense because you want it to be like nice and clear.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I checked. Yeah, indeed, Snap is coming out for N64 Online, which is quite cool.
Yeah, along with shoot, the game was in my mind, but now it's not. The Majora's Mask. That's
yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
This will be finally my first chance to play a 3D Zelda game.
But
another thing that I was deprived of.
But there's already Ocarina of Time on N64 Switch Online.
That's what I meant, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, like I'm seeing that, I was like, oh my goodness, I actually get to touch a 3D Zelda game for once in my life.
Yeah.
As I said, there are many things I was deprived of as a kid. Although,
I mean,
I used the word deprived super loosely.
Yeah, like deprived in the sense of you just never got to play it
or hear about them.
Oh.
Because here's the thing, when I first started watching YouTube and gaming, it was mostly Sonic games I was hearing about, then Mario, and that was it. I never paid attention to Zelda games. And oddly enough, back in the days when I was subscribed to Kabbalah Money 456, by the way, Kobe, if you're watching this, but I'm not so sure if you are, rest in peace, man. Hope you're doing fine. Well, not say rest in peace, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He's not dead.
Yeah, he's not dead.
At this very moment that we are doing this podcast, he is still alive.
He's still alive, yes. But I remember when the days when I was watching him, for some reason, even though those Let's Plays kept showing out like Mario, Sonic, for some reason, his Zelda Let's Plays never showed up. So in my like sub box / like recommended. So I never actually got to even know about them / see them until I got subscribed to Chugga Conroy and saw Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword, Phantom Hourglass, all that stuff. I was like, wait, these things exist? So that was when I only finally understood about gaming franchises and the different gaming franchises.
You said Phantom Hourglass. That reminds me. I have Phantom Hourglass. This technically isn't my copy. This is my cousin's copy, but I've just had it for a decade.
A decade? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny story about that. I played it like a month after I got my OG 3DS XL, and I was using the included like stylus with it, which it's benign detail except for the fact that it like I was being gentle with it, but it ripped like my touchscreen.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's
yeah,
questionable.
but luckily I was able to send in my system to Nintendo and get it repaired for no cost. So it was fine, but still.
Well, at least it's good to hear that it got they managed to fix it.
Yeah, and since then I've gotten screen protectors on all my portable devices.
Cheh. I mean, when I bought my devices, I mostly got them with them. So when I bought my Switch, it came with the protector. When I bought my 3DS, it also came with the protector, etc., etc.
Yeah. But yeah, I should get back. Again, another game I should get back to at some point.
As you can tell, we don't have much time playing games, especially now that I have a new job.
Yeah, and even though at this point I'm out of college, I'm still working a part-time job, and I'm still looking for like a place of full-time employment. So it'll come up at some point. Just as long as I keep putting in the effort to look for someplace, it'll work out. I'm not too bothered about it.
We'll be praying for you about that, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll go find a nice job that you can look forward to every day.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
Continue on the line of games that came out in 2021. How about Metroid Dread? The game that just stole Game of the Year at this point.
Yeah.
I honestly was surprised to see it like first place. Like, wait. You're saying that the game that was literally 2 months old got first place?
Yeah.
Absolutely insanity.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first like mainline 2D Metroid game in forever. Like, wasn't it planned
Fusion.
for a what?
Fusion. Oh. I thought you were about to say, wasn't Fusion the last Metroid 2D game? And I was about to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard you said Prime. I'm like, oh yeah, that exists.
Yeah.
For those who are wondering, Metroid Prime 4 was supposed to be on Switch quite a few years ago now.
Yeah, although like they realized that they didn't like the direction it was going, so they basically reset development, which I'm totally fine with. If it's as long as it's turns out to be a good game in the end, I'm perfectly fine waiting.
When was the last Metroid Prime game? 2007?
No idea. But
Mango, we actually got to recognize the word Metroid. 2000 and that was correct. 2007.
Nice. There is like some rumors about a Prime Trilogy remake coming out within the next year or two.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't mind that. Another thing I was deprived, Metroid 3D games.
Yeah. I mean, I've never played a Metroid game at all before.
Really? Oh.
Unless you count NES Remix.
I will count that. I'll count that.
Yeah. But sorry. If you see me looking down, I'm just playing with these couple cables that I have out. Yeah. I've never played any Metroid game, 2D or 3D. The closest that I've been, what's it called? Hollow Knight. I played like half an hour of it. So, but yeah, there's actual like pretty good evidence that Metroid Prime Trilogy remake is coming to the Switch, in the sense that like there's gonna be remade textures. You'll be able to use like the gyro pointer, I'm pretty sure. But still, with any rumors, don't get your hopes up until it becomes officially announced. At that point, yeah, go nuts. That's just been my general philosophy.
I mean, I don't even look at rumors as much because A, I don't really want to get spoiled by them in case they come true, and B, even if they don't come true, at least I don't make myself look like a fool.
Right.
Oh boy, now me saying that reminds me of like when Kobe was actually with another guy on call during the oh boy, was it March 2018 Nintendo Direct when Smash Ultimate was first like announced.
I have no idea.
I mean, I
barely
think that's
watched
correct.
Kobe.
But I remember
I barely
that.
watched.
So what happened
Mm.
was that one of his friend, right, posted on Twitter saying that Nintendo Direct is the best example of how to tell the difference between people who live in reality and those who think Smash will be announced.
Nah.
And then Smash gets announced, and he felt like a dummy. He felt very embarrassed.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Nintendo. It's hard to say what they will and will not announce.
Yeah. Still, that was so funny that day. I remember seeing that every time. I'm just like, congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, if, with some other games that are coming out this year, that we know are coming out this year, it's, pretty safe to get excited for them, like Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I touched Splatoon 2.
Oh dear, when you say that, I'm curious now when it was the last time.
I honestly don't remember. I haven't touched it all this year. But, yeah.
I'll be honest,
I think...
Oh, go ahead.
I think I might have played it once or twice in 2021, but that was about it.
Heh.
I'm kind of excited to start fresh with Splatoon 3.
Yeah, same, honestly. Oh, another game that did the ancient theme.
Yeah.
What is going on, Nintendo? Are you telling us something?
Maybe.
Hold on a second. Oh, go ahead.
In 2020, there was Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
Oh, yeah,
2020.
true.
Anyways.
Hang on, I just realized something.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
Oh.
Oh, September is when Nintendo was first launched, huh?
What?
September was the month that Nintendo was first created.
Nintendo as a company?
1889, 23rd September.
Yep. Yeah.
So maybe that's why they
sounds
released
about
all
right.
their stuff in September. It's like a special month for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not complaining because that's my birth month. But yeah. And I guess something else that's coming out this year that I got excited to talk about on the podcast, but we didn't do another episode until now. Steam Deck.
Oh yeah, you actually didn't get to discuss about it at time.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I mean,
the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, granted, people know about the Steam Deck at this point, but I'm just super excited to, see how well it runs just out in the wild. I say that like it's a cheetah. But I'm, curious to see how good game compatibility is going to be for it, because it's running Linux. Granted, there's systems put in place to where if a game is only on Windows, it'll have the Proton compatibility layer, so it'll be able to run, those sorts of Windows games. But then its potential as a as a beefy emulation machine, because you can exit out of the main big picture mode and go to the desktop mode that it runs on, and you can basically just treat it like a computer. Like, plug in a keyboard and mouse, connect it to an external display. Granted, you'll be able to do that anyways with the standard big picture mode. But in that desktop mode, I'm pretty sure that's how you're going to be able to load in like emulators and all that, and just have it run basically any game ever, more or less. Which, that's kind of why I'm holding off on even like pre-ordering a Steam Deck, is because I want to see how easy it's going to be to load up emulators on it, and what the compatibility is, more or less, for all the different systems. I'm pretty sure it'll be able to run technically up to PS3, but probably not super well, like in terms of PS3 emulation. But I know, like, for sure, PS2, GameCube, Xbox, you'll be able to emulate up to. But also, it feels like the perfect system for DS emulation, because you could hook it up to a monitor or a TV through that USB-C port, and have essentially like the two screens up on the TV, but then also have those up on the deck itself, and use the touchscreen on the deck for like the actual touchscreen parts of DS games. As well as, you know, the built-in microphones on the Steam Deck, you know, can use those for microphone functionality on the DS.
That'd be cool to see, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just to confirm on my part, because I don't really know much of it, does it mean that the Steam Deck can, like, technically act as though you're playing with Steam games?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Like, am I able to play, like, Steam games on the Steam Deck? Like, just to confirm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You can
Any
you can
kind
play
of games? Because there's a certain series that I've downloaded and bought, like the whole series of 8 games. Apparently, 3 of them are not being able to play on Windows 8 or 10 and can only play with, like, older firmware. So I was wondering whether the Steam Deck can actually play those games now, soon, once it comes out.
We'd probably have to wait and see once those games get confirmed compatibility or not, because Valve is going through like the entire Steam catalog to figure out which games are compatible and which aren't. Although they're trying to aim for as close to 100% compatibility as they can, with things like, you know, the Proton compatibility layer, and all that. Yeah, for that, it's just gonna have to be a wait and see sort of thing. I'm personally curious to see how well the classic You Don't Know Jack games will run, if at all, because they still run as if they're like, you know, Windows 95 or Windows 98 games.
Wow. Oh, actually,
basically,
now that you say that gives me a bit of hope. And I guess I might as well segue a bit into a bit of a hint for anyone watching. My next Flash Fridays playthrough after Wario Cup is on a series that, well, involves 8 games. That's the first hint.
Oh.
Anyways, go ahead.
Like, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well those games run, if at all. Although, like, you do have to do some typing in those games, but I think there is going to be a way that you can just, like, call up the on-screen keyboard, so you can just, like, type in stuff with the touchscreen. But if you plug in a keyboard, through the USB-C port, like with a hub or whatever, or via Bluetooth, because you can do that, that shouldn't be an issue at all. It's kind of the nice thing about the Steam Deck is that you can just like hook up essentially whatever, like any sort of monitors or anything like that through the USB-C port if you get a hub, or basically anything that works over Bluetooth. You can hook up a keyboard and mouse, headphones, controller, anything like that over Bluetooth. And a lot of people are saying like, oh, this is gonna kill the Switch. No, it's not. The Steam Deck is for a different type of audience.
I can see that, yeah.
Although, I'm personally excited for it because I feel like it's gonna be a great complement to my Switch. Like, Switch I can have as like, you know, for playing all of the major first-party Nintendo titles that are out right now. And then the Steam Deck for everything else.
Yeah,
basically.
That's why I was like agree with you on that. Like that, oof, that is a literal game changer.
Yeah, and because they're both of like basically the same form factor, you could throw both into a backpack. And I'm thinking like in preparation for getting one of those like nice 8-bit Do controllers, because I think they came out with a new one last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like using that as sort of my main controller for the Steam Deck, but it's also compatible with the Switch, so I could just throw in like that one controller into my backpack, along with I don't have it up here, but my portable Switch dock, it's the Genki Covert dock, that should be able to be compatible with the deck as well, because all of the demos of the Steam Deck that have been shown off, they've been just with like cheap $20 Amazon adapters, and they work great. So that, like, throw that in with an HDMI cable, I can hook up either my Switch or my deck to any TV. And plus, I recently got this massive battery bank.
That's cool.
26,800 milliamp hours in this, so I can power up both of them, both my deck and my Switch.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so I can just like go anywhere and not be bored at all, basically.
Go around and not be bored.
Yeah. But yeah, basically like be able to go anywhere, and I can play either the systems just in handheld mode if I want to, or if there's a TV available, hook whichever one I want to play up to a TV. So I would have like the ultimate portable gaming setup, more or less.
Yeah. Do a live stream in your car.
Yeah.
Road trip with gaming.
Yeah. Though. Yeah, I don't know how well that would work though, because I would have to like tether my laptop to my phone with like hotspot. But I don't think my current data plan lets me do that.
Oh no!
Not like I would want to do that anyways, because it would probably just eat up all my data.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That would just require a lot of data. I admittedly was mostly joking when I said that.
I know, but it's like, you said that, and it's like, oh, technically I could do that.
It's just that it's gonna cost a lot of money. Something
right.
that I think Mr. Beast could do.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think the Steam Deck was delayed by 2 months. It was supposed to come out last month, December 2021,
Oh,
but it was delayed until next month, February 2022. But still, that means we're like on the verge of it releasing. So
yeah, we are.
yeah, I'm really curious to see how well Wii games will run on it. Just because no other reason other than the fact that it's the Wii. And I think since the last podcast, I got an actual Wii remote and nunchuck and a USB sensor bar. And so then that means I can hook up a Wii remote over Bluetooth, and it gets recognized by Dolphin, like, just no problem. So I can play Wii games, just like I was playing them on an actual Wii.
It's quite cool, yeah.
Yeah. So I should be able to do the same with the Steam Deck. But we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see and see what we can do with the Steam Deck. Hopefully it was like works well, like what you said. Considering that they did delay it, hoping that the result that comes out will just be as spectacular, if not even better.
Right.
And I know one thing you're definitely getting with that Steam Deck.
What?
A screen protector.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, granted, though, it does come with a hard shell carry case, and it's not like the Switch, where, like, the dock for the Switch involves you, like, putting most of the system into the dock. I would just be using my Genki covert dock, which just plugs into the USB-C. So I could get away with not getting a screen protector, but I'm gonna get a screen protector.
Remember, kids, always protect your hardware.
Yeah. Although I think the highest priced model of the Steam Deck comes with a more durable glass screen, as opposed to, and it's like anti-reflective, as opposed to sort of like the more like plastic screen layer of the lower and mid-tier models. But still, you can just throw on a screen protector and be good.
Yeah. Man, I think future of gaming is now. That's probably the best way to describe this podcast.
Yeah. The future is now, old man.
I mean, dude, I turned silver this year as a reminder. Well, I'm turning 25, which honestly I still can't believe that.
Yeah, and I'm turning 23.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Time flies, ladies and gentlemen. Like today that we started meeting each other just because over Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon.
Right. In Stephen George's Twitch chat.
Yeah, I think that all started from there, and all of a sudden, boy, did we do a lot.
Yeah.
You're technically my graphic designer, and guy that I always like to chat with time to time whenever, things get rough.
Yeah. Yeah. For those who don't know, I've been designing Joel's banners for his YouTube channel and Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's basically his YouTube schedule, I as well as Well, it used to have your Twitch schedule, but I think for this newest one, you just had me put like for current Twitch schedule, go to my Twitter basically.
Technically not really, because for me, actually, I remember doing the Twitch schedule by myself. Like, I actually pasted the stuff on the art and like making the schedule myself. That was on PowerPoint, if you believe it or not.
Oh?
Yeah, I did all my Twitch schedule editing through PowerPoint. So
I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah. So for those wondering, what I did was that on that small screen, that would be where I put all the stuff, like all the assets of like the pictures together, make the schedule, make a graph to show like make a table showing the different dates and all that stuff. That's how I did my editing of the schedule. Yeah, it was weird, but it worked, like what you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
But unfortunately, with this new gaming laptop, guess it doesn't have PowerPoint anymore.
Oh.
So that's why now I decided instead of just putting a Twitch schedule on the offline screen, that will just be a regular offline screen like, hey, check out my other sites. I feel like that will be a little bit better, to be pretty honest, because admittedly, not many people see the offline screen, do they?
No. I don't know if you noticed, probably not, but for most of the banners that you've had me do, I did them in Photoshop, but I decided to stop my Adobe subscription just because I don't want to support Adobe.
Oh dear.
And there's just as good alternatives out there to the Adobe software, and there is a free Photoshop alternative, or essentially Photoshop clone, online that I used for the most recent banner that I made for you. I did it in Photopia.
That explains the different fonts on the schedule. I actually quite liked it.
Yeah, I saw that it looked similar enough to the video font that I did use for the other ones, but not like if you weren't necessarily looking for it, it would look pretty similar. But yeah, I just did that in Photopia, and in fact, Photopia lets you select Photoshop file .psd, and it just lets you edit it, and it lets you save a project again as a PSD, so you can save it for later to reopen in Photopia, or if you have to use actual Photoshop, you can open it in actual Photoshop.
Huh.
So
they're quite similar too, so that's quite good.
Yeah, honestly, like, that's a great Photoshop alternative. Although I am looking into getting copies of the I forget the names of them, but Affinity. They make really good alternatives / clones to Photoshop and Illustrator. That it's like for each of them, it's you just pay $55 US, and it's just that one payment. You own the software forever, and it seems to be just as fully featured as Photoshop and Illustrator. So that's opposed to, the Adobe software that you have to pay a monthly subscription service or subscription fee for.
That's kept
so
alright. Wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, honestly, like, the most recent, like, main YouTube video of mine that I made, I did that in DaVinci Resolve. I have been doing them in Adobe Premiere, but the most recent one that I did, it's the 5 underrated Switch titles with local multiplayer, I edited that whole thing in DaVinci Resolve, the free version, that is just as fully featured as Adobe Premiere. So for most people, there's no reason to use Adobe products.
Oof.
Honestly speaking.
That's an oof.
Yeah. I I just took this into a whole like not gaming topic at all, but
I mean,
yeah.
we're nearing the end of this session, to be fair. It's almost 2 hours, but at least now you
Yep.
know the changes that have been made over the past 2 months. But man,
Yep.
2022, brand new year, brand new experience, and even for me as someone who won't be able to stream as much, definitely expect big things to happen, even though I will be quite away from Twitch and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can't believe I managed to score 1,000,000 points in one session. Oh.
Nice.
That is going to be it for now, though, for this podcast. Again, welcome back. Honestly, really glad that this is returned. If you enjoyed this kind of podcast, if you enjoyed this kind of content, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more content. We'll promise you that we'll do more, podcasts soon enough if we can find the time. Follow me and Javsec through the links right here. And if you want to see the last Bejeweled podcast or some other videos, on screen right now. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. But remember, the adrenaline rush is real. This is Liam121 signing out, and we'll catch you guys on the next podcast. Peace.
Let's see ya.